Welcome back. Or if you're, are you back? There we are. Welcome back. It's a Fulbright Friday with LP and LT. And
Woo!
this last weekend was July 4th weekend, and was super excited. The main reason being that the Hamilton musical came out on Disney Plus. We were so excited because I've always wanted to see it in theaters, but obviously didn't want to shell out hundreds of dollars to go see the show. So
Yeah,
excited, got our ice cream sundaes ready. We're there, watched it
yeah,
play out, not
yeah.
really live, but like, watching the stage production, and it was magical. And
Magical.
yeah, because we often listen to the music, the soundtrack when we're going on like road trips, not that we're going on road trips anymore. But so
hmm
like now to like actually see it, it was just great.
Like I haven't seen it, and there's a lot of hype around it, and I'm a little bit resistant just because of the hype situation, which I know I will probably like it. And I often feel like this about musicals. It's like one of those things where I think it's not my thing, but then I'm like, do it, and I'm like, I love it. Like
And then
there,
you're the one in the audience like being
yes, like all of a sudden I'm like, this was the best thing I ever chose to do with my life. So
yeah.
there were two memorable musicals that I decided I wasn't going to like before I went, and then I went and I loved them both. And so one was The Addams Family, which was
Oh, I've never
so
seen that
good.
one.
It was so good, and then it was so fun. And then the other was my mom is like a huge, oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the thing, and it's like the Sound of Music. Sorry, so she's like a huge Sound of
The
Music
hills are alive.
with
I've actually been on that tour in Austria. I think this is something of my family that we go to.
oh my god. That's also something I think would be super lame, but I would go do it and then loved it. I guess I just like need to be more open to experiences. Musicals being one that I should be more open-minded about, I think.
Yeah, go wear lederhosen on the
Yeah.
Sound of Music bus.
The Hills. You find out why they're alive.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, hit us with it. What are we doing this week, LP?
Well, today we are going to be talking about our on-campus review and endorsement process. Because we have been getting some questions from people who want to know, like, what is this with the internal deadline of September 1st? What does that mean? So first things first, LT, take it away.
Okay. First of all, we get a lot of questions about assessment and selection through the endorsement process. And we want to step way back and say, hey, good news. Guess what? This process of endorsement is not a selective one. So there is a misconception that we have a whole bunch of applicants, we're only picking a few that we're going to endorse, when actually the point of endorsement is to work with the office so that we can help you prepare the strongest application possible. So there, at no point is there a moment where we're making selective decisions based on the merit of your application.
Number two is that the on-campus, or it's not really on-campus anymore, virtual review process will come.
VCR.
Yeah, you're right. Accomplishes two things. One thing is it allows us to provide you with additional feedback that you can incorporate into your application in time to resubmit for the final external deadline in October. And the second thing it allows us to do is fill out a endorsement form. It's called a campus evaluation form that accompanies your application to Fulbright and basically serves as another, you can think of this as like kind of another positive reference form that highlights strengths of your candidacy that should be highlighted and we want to comment on. Okay, number three.
Lots of highlighting on your things.
Lots of highlighting.
Okay, so number three, it's like, okay, so I'm gonna have an evaluative process, but that's gonna be geared for construction to help me improve my application. What does that actually look like? Well, for those of you who have joined us on this journey before and are returning or have heard about Fulbright, you know that there was a moment where you might have come into an on-campus process, but get with the times, no more in-person activities, at least through the Fulbright OCR or VCR process, as we're going to now refer to it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pairing each individual applicant, whether you are an English teaching applicant, a study applicant, a research applicant, so on and so forth, with an individual Georgetown Fulbright mentor. Sometimes these are going to be administrators, sometimes they're going to be faculty. Either way, that person will have expertise. They're going to serve as an outside reader. They're going to get all of your application materials that we're going to send them after you submit them on the first. They're going to read it, and then they're going to reach out to you to set up a one-on-one appointment. during that one-on-one appointment, you're going to discuss your application. They're going to have questions for you. And some of those questions are going to be helping them fill out that campus evaluation form. Again, we're wanting to highlight those things. And at the same time, that mentor is going to give you feedback on certain things that, well, that didn't really make sense. Could you explain that more? Or I'd like to see a little bit more here. Or you might go back to your academic mentor here because this could, use a little bit of improvement. So again, it's helping them get to know you and your project so they can fill out that form in the most complimentary way possible. And at the same time, give you really good substantive feedback, because after your meeting, you get to go back and make changes and update and revise and polish before the final deadline in early October.
However, it's really important that by that internal deadline of September 1st, you are submitting as polished an application as possible. And that's your entire application in the online system. That's including the recommendations or references. So you need to make sure that those people know that everything needs to be turned in by September 1st. Why does this need to be a very polished application, you ask, given that you have opportunity to make additional edits? It's because you want to provide your mentor with as much insight as possible into your application, the strengths of your candidacy, in order to allow them to complete that endorsement form to the best of their abilities and really highlight, once again, highlighting all you have to offer.
Wait, LP, does that include recommendations?
Yes, I did. It just said.
Does it include references?
Yes, it does.
Does it include affiliations?
Yes, it does.
In both essays?
Yes, and language evaluations.
Oh, okay. So everything.
Everything. that was to emphasize it.
Score. Everything. Okay. All right.
Question from the Fulbright fans. That was a big sigh. It's like almost kind.
I can't wait until it's actually Halloween.
Really? Can you?
No, I've never really enjoyed that holiday.
It's my least favorite holiday.
That's your favorite?
No, least.
Oh, yes. Okay, good.
Maybe not least, but I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what is the point? I don't trust strangers. It's like you force yourself on candy.
Taking candy from strangers, never.
I know, you can never come up with like the good costume. Like you have one or two good costume ideas and then it's like every year it's pressure. All right. Oh, I know this one for you automatically, but I will let you tell our fans because they will love to hear this. What is your claim to fame?
As soon as you said that, I wondered if it was going to relate to that because you already know what it is.
Maybe I should tell your story and then you should tell me.
Yeah, actually, I should correct you since you, or like, just how you do.
This is great. So LP's claim to fame is that she is, and I have to check the wiki site on this because I still don't think it's official yet. She is the person that was a part of creating, was the catalyzing event for the flash mobbing. So
I like the word catalyzed, yeah.
She was the impetus for everything that would come after in terms of flash mobbing. Then
That's
you were
true.
interviewed on a yes.
I like how I've told the story enough that you know,
like
know the details. Yeah, before, no, I think it was NBC, but it was before flash mobs were a thing, like dance flash mobs. The only two had happened in, it was actually, I think it was a Sound of Music one that happened in like the Netherlands maybe, and then a T-Mobile one that happened in the UK somewhere. And I feel like I was the first grassroots dance flash mob because it was a Life Gold Mine. And so I planned it and got funding from the Visitors and Conventions Bureau of Philadelphia. I made it happen.
That's right. Well, that's very exciting. I have not had my claim to fame yet. So, I mean, I'm still ascending in terms of potential fame. That you peaked really early.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. I think there's a new thing on TikTok that you have to create a video of what you're famous for, like what you're most famous for, and act it out in like 30 seconds.
I think we need to see that, please, LP.
Well, so what would your be if you had to in 30 seconds act out what you're most famous for?
Maybe it's a Fulbright Friday.
It's not gonna be. You don't need to act because you're already here.
Oh, I did it.